Once upon a time, one hot summer day, a crow became very thirsty. He flew in search of water here and there, but he did not get water anywhere. Crow was going to die for want of water. Oh my God! I'm feeling so thirsty! At last, he saw a pitcher. He at once flew to it with great delight. The water was so low that the crow could not drink it. Then the crow tried to break the pitcher, but he could not. He tried again and again over the pitcher, but he failed. But there was very little water at the bottom of the pitcher. He looked around and saw some pebbles lying nearby. He took the pebbles one by one and dropped them into the pitcher. The water reached the neck of the pitcher. The crow drank water to his heart's content and flew away. The moral of the story is, where there is a will, there is a way.
So one should always be prepared for future. Wait, I have a little story to tell you, and this would cheer you up too.
The Ant and the Grasshopper. Once upon a time, there lived ants and a grasshopper in a grassy meadow. All day long, the ants would work hard, collecting grains of wheat from the farmer's field far away. They used to work in much disciplined manner. They would hurry to the field every morning as soon as it was light enough to see by, and toil back with heavy grains of wheat balanced on their head. They would put the grains of wheat carefully away in their larderland, and then hurry back to the field for more. On the other hand, the grasshopper was lazy and would rest all day in the shade, singing songs to himself and eating tasty treats. He would enjoy his life to the fullest and hardly cared what comes next. He always used to pity the poor ants who worked hard all day. Days went by, and Grasshopper hopped around lazily in the grass, warm, happy, and well-fed, and chirping and singing to himself because life was good, while ants were carrying grains and taking them to their nest with the great toil. One day, when the ants were carrying the grains, one of the ants fell down due to the heavy weight of the grain. He was tired and hurt. Instead of helping the ant, Grasshopper looked at him and laughed. Ant asked,
Mr. Grasshopper, will you please help me with lifting this grain to my nest? I will be really thankful to you.
But the grasshopper ignored him and continued playing his music. With many efforts, the ant alone lifted the grain.
Why do you work so hard, dear ant?
Said the grasshopper.
Come, rest a while. Listen to my song. Summer is here, and the days are long and bright. Why waste the sunshine in labor and toil?
the ant would ignore him, and head bent, would just hurry to the field a little faster. This would make the grasshopper laugh even louder.
What a silly little ant you are.
He would call after her.
Come and dance with me. Forget about work. Enjoy the summer. Live a little.
I am helping to lay up food for the winter,
Said the ant.
and recommend you do the same.
Why bother about winter?
Said the grasshopper.
We've got plenty of food at present, and there's still plenty of time to prepare for winter.
But the ant knew what he was doing and went on his way and continued his toil. As the grasshopper hopped away across the meadow singing and dancing merrily. This continued for the rest of the days to come. Instead of working and preparing for winter, the grasshopper preferred to dance, sing, and play at his leisure. He did not realize that the wonderful summer days will not last forever, and soon cold and rainy days will be near. Summer faded into autumn, and autumn turned into winter. The sun was hardly seen, and the days were short and gray, the nights long and dark. It became freezing cold, and snow began to fall. The grasshopper shivered through the cold breeze. He tried to cover himself with the dry leaves around, but the strong wind even blew those away. He felt hungry and could not find anything to eat. He was sure that if he would not eat, he will soon die. He felt weak, and soon Grasshopper realized that the ant was right, and he should have been prepared. The grasshopper didn't feel like singing anymore. He was cold and hungry. He had nowhere to shelter from the snow and nothing to eat. The meadow and the farmer's field were covered in snow. There was no food to be had.
Oh, what shall I do? Where shall I go?
Wailed the grasshopper. He hadn't thought that this winter might be worse than usual. He had nowhere to shelter from the snow and found himself dying of hunger. While he saw the ants,
I shall go to the ant and ask her for food and shelter,
declared the grasshopper, perking up, and knocked at their door.
Hello, ants!
He cried cheerfully.
Here I am to sing for you as I warm myself by your fire while you get me some food from that larder of yours.
No, Mr. Grasshopper. We do not wish to listen to any song of yours.
And asked for something to eat, or else he would die.
What?
Cried the ants in surprise.
Haven't you stored anything away for the winter? What in the world were you doing all last summer?
I didn't have time to store any food.
Complained the grasshopper.
I was just so busy playing the music that, before I knew, the summer was gone.
The grasshopper learned a lesson the hard way. Work today and you can reap the benefits tomorrow. You are intelligent, Tofu. Now let's study today and reap benefits.
The cap seller and monkey. Once there was a cap seller in a town. On one fine day, after he made a few sales of caps, he became very tired. He decided to sit under a big tree to take rest for a while. So he slept off. There were many monkeys on a big tree. They saw the cap seller sleeping under the tree.
Hey, friends, look at those wonderful caps. Wow, colorful caps.
And the monkeys came down the caps from the cap seller's bag for them. Then they climbed the tree again. When the cap seller woke up, He was shocked to see his bag empty. Oh God, where are my caps? Where are my caps? To his surprise, he saw the monkeys were wearing them. Hey monkeys, give my caps, give my caps. You want your caps? Ha ha ha. Then he thought of an idea to get back all of his caps. So he threw his own cap in the air. The monkeys do the same. Then he threw the cap on the ground. The monkeys also threw their caps on the ground. Yes! The cat seller collected all the caps, put them back in bag and went away happily. Moral: wisdom is better than weapon of war.
The Wind and the Sun. One day, the wind and the sun are having an argument. The wind says to the sun, "Do you know, I am more powerful than you." The sun says,
Hey, don't be arrogant, my friend.
The wind says, "I am not being arrogant. I am being truthful. If you don't believe me, just have a competition right now." The sun says,
No, I am more stronger than you.
Just then a young man was walking on the road below them. That man was wearing a coat. The wind says to the sun, "See that man below? Whoever makes the man remove his coat from his body is stronger." The sun agrees.
Okay, Wind, let's have a competition. You go ahead first.
The wind blows a gust of cold wind at the man. The man shivers and tightens his coat.
What a cold and windy day.
The wind blows at the man with all his power and anger. But the man's coat stays on. The man started feeling so cold with the wind blowing at him that he wrapped his coat more tightly. Gah! "This is impossible," says the wind. The wind stops blowing. The wind fails to remove his coat.
My turn, says the sun. I think you have frozen the poor man.
So the sun pulls the cloud apart and gently shines down on the man. Suddenly, it is a beautiful spring day. The man immediately started feeling better.
Wow, the weather sure is strange around here,
says the man. Watch, what happens now? The sun gently wrinkles his fingers and increases the temperature.
What strange weather! Now it feels like summer,
the man says as he begins to sweat.
Goodness me, it's so hot.
He now removes his coat and he sits under the shady tree. Oh no, the wind says.
I win, says the sun, beaming.
Thus, the sun has proven that he is more stronger than the wind. The moral of the story: there are better ways of changing things than show off anger and power.
Once upon a time, a rose was in a desert far away. She was very proud of her beautiful looks. Her only complaint was an ugly cactus growing next to her. The beautiful rose would insult the cactus every day, mocking his looks. All while the cactus remained silent. All the other nearby plants tried to make sense of the rose, but she was too swayed by her own appearance. One scorching summer, The desert had become dry, and the plants had no water left. The rose was rapidly beginning to wilt. Her gorgeous petals dried up, losing their lively color. She saw a sparrow dip his beak into the cactus to drink some water as she looked at the cactus. The rose asked the cactus, though ashamed, whether she might have some water. The kind cactus readily agreed, helping them both as friends through the tough summer. The rose learned her lesson and never judged anybody by appearance again. Moral of the story: never judge someone by the way they look.